Oops. Could we? It's little bit maybe heavy subject, but could we talk a little bit about like suicides? Like I have been contemplating, but not in the way of like doing myself, but like one of the first these radical non-duality speakers, Nathan Gill,
Yeah.
that he did suicide because he had deliberate illness, and um, also there was last week, was it last week or week before, they in Tim Kliss has this kind of Zoom meeting, and somebody came in and was like contemplating that should I shoot myself, or, and it was like I think somehow like good to also talk about these topics, and Tim took it quite well, that he was talking about it and then saying that if you do, then you can't come next week meeting. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, this is so relevant to that. And I think yes, it is good to talk about it. Um, because it will trigger that part because when the meaning and the point in life just goes, there is really an equality to everything. Um, I will add that when this energetic sense is really, really um there's a little remnant of it. I don't say this as it doesn't matter if it's there or not, but just as a description, when there is a little remnant of it, this is the most dangerous part where life does seem very pointless and meaningless, but there's a little part that is taking it as um it's still relating to it as my life is meaningless. There is no point to my life. And all I can say is that passes. So that happened here as well. Like I was just like, this is horrible. Like, why is anyone talking about this? Because this is the worst and most dangerous thing. But I can say it does pass like everything else. And yeah, with Nathan Gill, I think is like when the body is in so much pain for so long, there is still a preference to not feel that much pain, even though no one is there suffering. No one is saying it's my pain, but it's still painful. And I can see that, yeah, there can still be this choice. He didn't make it, but there was still a choice to end it.
yes, there was another sad story like this Franciscan monk, that Francis Bennett, and he did change his gender, that he was Fran Bennett. He wasn't like radical non-duality speaker, but like something like around the subject. And he also like at the, I heard somebody write in YouTube after this team's meeting that this guy did that at the end he was like homeless, and he, her like parents had died, and her brother who was like autistic had died, and he also did kill himself. That was also like sad story, and I was wondering that what to think about it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
life can be like really hard
Yes.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was going through this with my friend who had the most trauma I've ever seen, and there was a processing of all of that while this existential um thing was being triggered constantly too. So it was so challenging. And there was a recognition that, yeah, there is no escape in life. This can still feel absolutely miserable. Like liberation can feel absolutely miserable when there is trauma, when the life circumstance just is horrible. You know, no one wants to be homeless and struggle like that. So it can still be difficult. And yeah, so I think sometimes I think here there was kind of this balancing going on where, yeah, you could see the absolute emptiness and everything, but yet there was this understanding of the human, um, I guess, I don't know, every word is meaningless, so I'm just going to use words like this human experience. It's still, um, you still want your life to be a little bit like good, meaning like, you know, you don't want it to fall apart completely. You don't want to be have no money at all. You don't want to be, yeah, and that's understandable. And that is built into the body to not want that stuff. And um also is if sometimes like your conditioning is so bad, that can still remain like, oh, I'm worthless. I can never amount to anything. Like that kind of patterning can have so much strength that even when there is no self, that can still be running for a while, you know? So that's where working on like the psychology and that kind of stuff, even if there's no self, it can still be helpful. And usually processing the emotions that need to come up and be processed is an amazing way to do that. Um, yeah, so I also saw like things like self-help. Uh, it kind of made sense again. It kind of was like, oh yeah, the basics of like how to be a healthy person makes sense, but now it's not personal. Now it's the conditioning of the body. Now it's just, yeah, it just has a very impersonal flavor, but you can, yeah, it's so tricky to speak about this because, yes, there is no control in that stuff. But I think when you talk about it with someone who understands that there's no one there, but you can still have a slightly more positive outlook on life, it can really change the body. It can change the so-called life circumstances. Um, and it's such a powerful way to do that because now there's a lightness to it all in a way. Um, yeah, it's so ironic. It's like all meaningless. So like the negative and the positive is both equal. And yet you can still use the positive. And yet you can say like, no, I I can do this. I can make this happen. I can make a better life. And yet it's not referring to anyone. I'm not talking to anyone, but it's possible.
Yes, it was good to talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah. And this is such an ironic thing to talk about because I remember times where nothing mattered. I didn't care if I was homeless. I didn't care if I lost everything, but it wasn't in a negative or positive way. It was just there was no care in anything. So there is a period like that So if anyone is there, that's okay. But somehow, yeah, things just keep changing in a way in the body, and there's a settling into this. It's a new normal that's happening, so it's very difficult for the body to acclimate to this because it's just so new.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks so much. That was a very, it's such a great thing to talk about. Important thing. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm having a tough time.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to get this question out, and I can't seem to get my emotions, right for it, but I just have to try. I guess I kind of want to talk about the survival mechanism of me, and what that looks like, because I mean, there's nothing wrong in my life right now, and I'm going insane. It's like I'm overwhelmed with like quick to anger and oh God, and frustration. And I'm just like, can't, there's the old ways of thinking just don't work anymore of what it could be. And I think lately I'm just trying to step out of the thoughts, like not listen to them because they're all just making up all these reasons why things are happening or what I'm feeling in the moment. And so I just feel like there's this battle going on within me, and I feel like my body's even over it all too. It's just like, and it's just this, I keep thinking it's exhausted and it's gonna, run out. And I just feel like, I guess there's that part of me that wants to understand what it is. And I don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's like maybe this agitation from something clinging on, or like, and I hear you talk about that a lot. I think they're feeding off my energy, and then I'm getting angry with them, and it's just like this. And there's nothing wrong in my life, and it's just I'm so frustrated. I'm just going crazy, and
I
like
totally understand. Yeah, let it out. Let it out.
I feel like I'm fucking bipolar. It's like I wake up and I feel good, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow. It's like, oh my god, what is happening? And I'm drinking, and that's not helping, and it's just, and I'm breathing, and I'm just going nuts. I think I needed to say that to someone.
Yeah, I'm here for you. I know it's very disorienting.
I don't even know, is like that it, or is this old patterns, or, and it just keep coming back to this, like something is just, like trying to start shit, or I don't know. I just can't express it in words. It's just, I just want it to stop,
Mm.
Yeah, I want you to stop meowing too. But it's funny because I feel like they're feeding off my energy, and it's just like this big, ah, I just need this.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say that it's this sense will project onto anything like animals or anything, and it will regurgitate a lot of the patterns in that body. It's amazing that it could kind of find anything and do that. So this I know that it feels really shitty, and it's just like, it's so disorienting and you don't know what's going on.
But
And
that's so true what you just said. It's like grabbing onto like, oh, you're fat, or overeating, or okay, we're gonna drink, or we're gonna do, like, it's just grabbing onto shit. Oh, now this is annoying. Now I can't design something. You're right. It's just grabbing onto all of those old insecurities and just whatever it can get. That's why it feels like it's not attacking me, but it's like, it's just trying, like, what can I, oh, okay, that one worked, like, okay, good, we'll sit with this one now,
Yeah.
now we're in this, and now, you're so right. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You just
It
got to
will,
ride it out, huh?
yeah, it will feel like just everything's exploding. That's really how it felt here. It just felt like nothing's happening, and yet, like, why does it feel like chaos is ensuing?
I was telling people, I said, when you live a really simple life and you don't have a boyfriend or you don't go to the office, I said, life will find ways to bring, the ebb and flow into your life, because that's what it feels like. Like, what? Why is this happening? Like, I'm so like, everything is just, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
But
I
it's,
think you brought up like important things, because so for here too, throughout this apparent lifetime, there were things like the image of the body and what it meant about me. So all of that was being triggered, and there wasn't even anything necessarily wrong with the body, but it was hating itself. Something was hating itself to the max. And
yeah.
it was spewing out a lot of just, this is not good enough. This isn't it. No, no, no. And
Yeah.
and that is the energy of this sense that feels separate from life. It is just saying no to life. No. So right now it's screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's real loud. And I'm really over it. Like, I'm just so over it. I'm so grateful for this time with you, and just to hear other people too, because it takes me out of this and into the truth of, well, the truth, blah blah blah. Just
I thought the most helpful thing was like, before I met my friend, I there was such an intense like loneliness, and like, oh my god, I felt like there was something broken, like at the very core of me. I was just broken. That's how it felt. And there was a suppressing of it because I was like, no, 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 I can't go there, this is dangerous. Subconsciously it just went like, no. But when I met my friend who was just broken, and he just showed me it all.
Mhm.
There was no self, but there was just brokenness. And then I realized, oh, yeah, there is no self here, but I feel absolutely shattered. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to allow the absolute aloneness that I feel. Um, because you will never touch this place until you're going through this. So you're very much in new, scary territory. And it's gonna feel like, no, 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 something's really wrong here.
it does feel that way too, because all the years of healing myself, and I used to meditate for 2 hours a day. I was all kundalini and peace, and I didn't drink or smoke or do anything for years. And I thought, yeah, I had it really together. And it's like, no, I can't be broken now. Like, I've already done all that work. What is this? And it doesn't even feel like it belongs to anyone. That's what's so crazy about it. It's like, there's nothing wrong with me. It's like, why am I feeling this way? It's a mind fuck. It really is a mind fuck. And
Yeah.
I've been really trying to go into the body, like like we talked about. I think I do see the truth in that. I've been stretching again. I've been moving the body. Just to try to give it some relief, and because I can feel the frustration in the body too. It's almost like the body's like, really, like, and so I think going into doing those things is even agitating something even more, like this morning I woke up and I couldn't, I just went and sat in this weird corner in my bedroom, And at one point I just started crying. I'm just like,
I
I'm over
know.
this.
I know. Yeah. There was a lot.
Sorry.
No, don't say sorry. This is beautiful. Yeah. There was a
Oh
lot of
God.
spontaneous crying here. Sometimes I really couldn't make sense of it, but there was just a burst of tears coming out.
I guess it's just all the frustration, just maybe the body's just like, ah, it's screaming, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you some stories. When I was, in the thick of it, oh my God. I never say this to my sister. I'm the closest I used to be. I felt like I was the closest with my sister. And there was a moment where there was no more filter anymore. I just felt like shit and it just was coming out. She was just horrified because, like, no one knows what this is like until it happens to them. And same with my friend. He exploded in a pharmacy in front of everyone.
Oh shit. I feel
And
like I'm on the brink of that.
and it was just so direct. There was no filter anymore. It was just pain and it was coming out. And and then there was also like, well, that happened.
Oh, that feels that I relate to that. And that's too, it is not having anyone to talk to about it. I'm like a go-to person, life coach. My friends lean on me a lot, and I can't even with them anymore. But I can't express what I'm going through with them either. I feel rude to some people. I'm actually mean sometimes recently, and I'm like, that's fine. Like I don't care what happens with this relationship because I can't deal with your shit. I'm going through my own shit right now, and I can't even tell you about it. And so I just feel like not answering the phone, and like I probably would lose it in a fucking pharmacy right now if I was, had to go somewhere. So I can really relate with that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I feel some relief right now, just being able to express
Good. Because
instead of silently. Yeah.
it's painful when you see, like, I can't even tell my friends and they just won't understand how much pain I feel right now. And it's so sad that I can't share this with anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people go through this alone. I have a sense that sometimes maybe you don't go the whole way because you don't have support.
Well, that's what I think's happened here is you started this channel, and I've been spending my time with you even more so, but in this energetic presence weekly, and I feel like it's really just taken it all up.
Yeah.
It's what I needed to, because it was just sitting there, and then you were like, whoop, and I think it's a great thing. I think that's what this body needed. So I'm grateful. I mean, there's no words that could express. Um, even though I'm feeling like shit, I'm grateful. It's like this love hate kind of thing, but I
Absolutely.
do feel like that's what's happening. I think you nailed it, and I appreciate everything that you've created um, to that's helping me continuously every day in this journey. So thank you,
Thanks so
and
much.
thanks for letting me cry.
No, it was so beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it will always it's gonna oscillate like crazy, like, oh, this is so wonderful. And no, why? So it's gonna oscillate like that. And that is how it's gonna appear for now. The more that you see, like, yeah, this is how you're seeing how extreme it can be in its max, and knowing that, okay, there is an okayness with it, even though there is still, yeah, you don't want this shit to come up, but understanding that it's going to play out this way for a little bit.
Okay. We're just gonna write it out together. You've given me some peace and some relief, and also just kind of like a fighter who, you know, is in the corner with its coach, and it's like, you got this, or get back in the ring, you got this. Like, it's gonna, you know, you're almost there, you know, or whatever. But just, you know, it's a little more strength to just hang in there and just keep letting things right out. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tanya. This is the most vulnerable you can get, this place. This is where the juice is too, though. This is the core of why everyone is suffering. And you can see now, like, why everyone else is living the way they do, because what's underneath is what Tanya just expressed. It is all of that stuff is there underneath, and the person is living on top of it. They don't know it, so it's okay, but that's where all the that they're just living on top of it. So it's understandable why the world is the way it is, in a way. Yeah, so it's like right before the storm just settles and clears, it's absolute chaos. And it's shocking that, and this will kind of ebb and it will pulsate. So it's not like it comes at once and then it just goes. It'll come in seeming lesser and lesser degrees of it until it just stops. But that's how it seemed here. It was just a tornado, and then it was just absolute silence. Then it was a tinier tornado, and then just silence. And there was a point here too where, you know, it felt like I went through multiple tornadoes, and then I was like, this is it. You know, there was still like debris that was like stirred up, and it was just like, it's so empty. I went through all of that to get to this emptiness. There's just nothing. Sometimes just no words. Yeah.